All right, My Hero Academia fans. Buckle up because Season 8 Episode 3 explodes onto the screen with a tidal wave of heart-pounding moments, gut-wrenching emotions, and a game-changing comeback that nobody saw coming. This episode throws us straight into the eye of the storm, with lives hanging by a thread, old prophecies threatening to come true, and the world on the edge as heroes and villains collide harder than ever before. Seriously, if you thought you had a handle on where this final battle was heading, think again, because the future gets reshaped tonight, and not everyone gets out unscathed. Let's set the stage. The world feels like it's teetering, and even the weather's gone haywire. On screen and in universe, everyone's nerves are frayed. That monstrous pyrocumulonimbus cloud brewing over Japan. It's more than just set dressing. It's a symbol that everything is out of balance. Hero society, the fate of All Might, and the dream he carried for generations. As the battle lines are drawn, every side is bracing for tragedy or triumph, hanging on the edge of a knife. The episode pivots between emotional confrontation and all-out chaos, but at its burning heart is the fate of Toshinori Yaji, All Might himself. Imagine the raw dread. All those prophecies and ominous warnings that All Might's death would mark the end of an era, that a hero's demise would snap the world from dream to cold reality. In Midoriya's mind, these anxieties are at a fever pitch. He cannot bear the thought of losing his mentor, his uncle figure, the symbol of peace. Viewers feel Midoriya's desperation rising, his refusal to let destiny make the call, clinging to hope with white-knuckled fists, even as everyone around him demands a miracle. But we're not alone. Nighty's vision from way back has everyone on edge. Fans know this so-called inescapable fate for All Might has been hanging over the series for years. The episode leans into this, uniting characters and audience in the hot tension text. Will this truly be the end of All Might's long, shining arc? Is his time finally up? But hold up. The answer, at least for now, comes with one of the most jaw-dropping twists My Hero Academia has ever pulled. Just as everything looks lost, prayers and hope, literal energy from everyone who believes, swirl into something tangible. The episode suggests that it isn't just Midoriya's power holding the line. It's everyone's collective wish that fights against the so-called fixed future. It's a subtle but powerful message. It's not only the quirks, but the unity of human will that shapes what happens next. The theme gets driven home as, against all odds, Bakugo makes a thunderous comeback. Let's talk about this for a second. The last time we saw Bakugo, he was basically at death's door. His body ripped up, bleeding out, Edge shot literally sewing him together from the inside using his own life force. Most of us figured this was curtains. The shonen trope would be for Bakugo to get his grand, tragic exit, making way for Midoriya's solo stand. But surprise, Bakugo refuses to go out like that. Edge shots rescue, pushing himself past death's door to restart Bakugo's heart and lungs, is pure MHA insanity. We get intimate, almost surgical details. Edge shot can't do the impossible forever, and Bakugo's every breath hurts, but that sheer willpower keeps him pushing forward. What's more, the storytelling lets us in on a unique twist. It wasn't just Edge shot's effort that brought Bakugo back. It was the power Bakugo's honed, the sweat on his palms, that energy flowing through his veins in that moment before death. And damn, if that isn't a metaphor for Bakugo's character, pure self-driven combustion, refusing to fizzle out, igniting at exactly the worst or maybe best, moment for the bad guys. Meanwhile, All Might is a battered, bruised old man, but when he sees Bakugo rise, we see the flicker of hope reignite. They're beaten, exhausted, but the way they talk to each other, sniping back and forth in classic Bakugo's All Might banter, reminds us why people believe in them. That's what makes the core of My Hero Academia not the superpowers, but the stubborn, relentless drive to keep pushing even when your body and fate itself tell you to stop. On the other side, All for One is losing control. He's furious, stunned, and for the first time, rattled by the small fry, Bakugo, coming back from the edge and foiling his inevitable plans. It's a crucial moment. For All for One, Bakugo isn't worth his attention. He's no endeavor, not a threat like Dark Shadow, so why risk advancing his own rewind and get mixed up with this pebble? But fate, or maybe something deeper, is working against All for One now. The gears are slipping. The wind isn't blowing his way for once. He can't waltz his way to victory anymore, and it drives him into a seething panic. This is the true final boss unraveling, and you can feel the entire villain's side on shaky ground. All for One's next move is critical. He wants his brother, Yoichi, or at least the vestige inside Midoriya. That dark, poisonous obsession reaches a fever pitch as old grudges resurface. There's a brilliant psychological twist here at All for One's hatred is deep-rooted, not just in his quest for power, but in his jealousy and anger toward those he couldn't control, especially Yoichi, the original holder of One for All, whose light keeps stopping him through the generations. The reveal that Bakugo, Midoriya, and their allies are more than just obstacles. They remind All for One of his greatest failures, brings a whole new dimension to the fight. Meanwhile, the war rages all across Japan. The split-up plans, the intensity at Takoba National Stadium, heroes like Lady Nagant joining the fray, and evacuation efforts underway. The chaos is everywhere. But one by one, updates come in. E-Spinner is captured, the high ends are neutralized, and the tide seems to be turning in favor of the heroes. Yet all of these victories hang by a thread, because as long as Shigaraki, which is to say, All for One, remains at large, the true endgame is still in doubt. Back on the ground, Bakugo starts to realize the pain in his body isn't just a hindrance, it's his cue. The sweat-turned explosion quirk becomes his lifeline, and he uses the pain to time his attack, a secondary explosion, sharper, faster, less about brute force, more about tactical, vengeful precision. It's an echo of Midoriya's own evolution, the catch up to you moment, showing how Bakugo can now go beyond just chasing Deku. He might even pull ahead. The episode doesn't let up, leaving us with the world still divided between hope and terror, but ending on that climactic preview of Bakugo's full body howitzer impact about to detonate. Well, we also catch a glimpse of his family, watching him take this harrowing stand, his mom close to tears but unable to look away, his dad believing in that old, stubborn Bakugo grin. It's personal for everyone now. The stakes are sky high, the pain is real, and every hero fighting in the war has something left to prove. In the end, Episode 3 takes us on a wild emotional ride, the near death of All Might, Bakugo's miraculous return, All for One's unraveling psyche, and a universe bending under the collective will of its people. What we see is the shattering and reshaping of destiny, not in grand declarations, but in the small, desperate moments when someone refuses to die, when someone else shouts for help, and when even fate itself seems like something that can be fought with nothing more than a clenched fist. So to sum it all up, the turning point is here. Heroes and villains are both out of time and options, and with Bakugo back in the mix, the next showdown promises to be unmissable. My Hero Academia just leveled up again. If you got swept up or caught even a tiny spark of hype in this recap, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Whose comeback surprised you the most? Do you think fate is really up for grabs? Don't forget to give this video a like, share it with your fellow UA Class 1A stans, and smash that subscribe button so you don't miss our next deep dive into the final war for Hero Society. Plus Ultra.